What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gent. Today, we're going to talk about BioNano Genomics, a stock that I have covered on this channel in the past. You've seen me buy a ton of shares, you've seen me sell a ton of shares, and something big just happened over the last couple days that I think you really have to pay attention to, because on Monday, there is going to be hell in the stock market as it relates to this company. But before we get into that, make sure that you follow me on All Tech, subscribe to the Brown Gent YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram, like and share the video, and follow me on Twitter. That being said, let's get into talking about BioNano Genomics. So, as you know, BioNano Genomics is a sort of healthcare company focusing on optical genome mapping. We first heard of them back in 2020 when they were talking about their Sapphire system. And since then, they've sort of built out some of the other services. As we've seen, the company is trying to build out a revenue stream. That being said, they dropped a hammer of a news today when they announced a reverse stock split. So taking a look at this, they indicated that they're going to do a 1-for-10 reverse stock split. What that means is every 10 shares of BioNano Genomics is now going to be 1 share of BioNano Genomics. And this is not good news. Some of you may go, hey, you know what? Who cares if it sort of stock splits or, sort of the other way around where you sort of get like the reverse stock split in this case, right? Why does it matter? Well, the reason it matters is it indicates that there are financial troubles on behalf of a company. And this is specifically around a reverse stock split. Let's take a look here. It's a corporate action that consolidates the number of existing shares into fewer, more expensive shares. The actual value of the shares doesn't go down because, for example, if the company has 100 shares and reverse stock splits using a 1-to-5 ratio, it's going to be left with 20 shares outstanding, right? 100 divided by 5. Meanwhile, the price per share will be multiplied by 5. So if the company's stock was trading at $50 per share before the reverse stock split, the price will increase to $250 per share. In both situations, the total company value is $5,000. But that's not the whole story, because while it doesn't affect the total value of the company's shares, what will happen is this sort of is typically used as a last resort following a recent decline in stock prices. And the move is often viewed very negatively. And for investors like us, it sort of tells us that the company's stock prices won't recover based on the company's performance alone. And that's why a reverse stock split is very sort of self-defeating. And we tend to see that stock prices will start to decline if investors realize that, hey, you know what? Maybe this company is struggling financially, and they will sell out based on fear, right? Remember, so don't forget, we don't change value, but we change perception. So this is something you really have to be wary of. And you know what? The market did agree with that. Today, when they announced around 12 o'clock that they were going to do a reverse stock split, the stock dropped about 20% after rebounding slightly. This is horrible news for BioNano Genomics, because this doesn't even mark the end of their problems. If you take a look at this analysis that was done by Alessandro Calvo, BioNano Genomics, a company that develops technology for cancer research and diagnosis, is burning through cash at an unsustainable rate despite its high revenue growth. The company's total addressable market is way too small to create value for shareholders, and it faces high technological risk from current and potential competitors. And despite being an industry leader in sales and technology, its gross margin doesn't match the sector's benchmarks, and there are really no catalysts that could significantly alter its current situation. So I'm now going to go through sort of all of the sort of details right here, because it sort of talks about some of the stuff we've been talking about for the last 2 years. And if we look at BioNano Genomics stock back in 2020, back when they were sitting around the same price, around 50 cents, they skyrocketed at the end of December when studies got published talking about Sapphire and its potential in the optical genome mapping space. It went as far as $15. In fact, I remember one of my friends, Jake, he actually bought a ton of BNGO. We all bought it around a couple of bucks. He kept holding, and he was holding all the way down from $15. I really hope he sold at some point. I know that I had sold, I had sold before 15. I had sold around 12 or 13, I think. I can't remember because it was kind of like almost 3 years ago at this point, 2.5 years. But if you look at the stock chart, it has literally just been a disaster, just keeps going down with slight bounces, right? And back here, I think around this time frame, I made a video saying, hey, I bought 1,000 shares of BioNano Genomics, and just a few short weeks later, when it went up 80%, I dumped my shares. And I said, hey, if the stock price goes down far enough and sort of my outlook on the company hasn't changed, I will buy some shares. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. If you take a look at BioNano Genomics, unlike other companies in the market, BioNano Genomics has just been going straight down. This has not been a good news story. They've been burning a ton of cash. Their earnings have not been inspiring. And now they're going to do a reverse stock split. So now that they're doing a 10-for-1 reverse stock split on Monday, when you wake up on Monday, it's going to trade under BNGO ticker at $4.85, right? And the way it works is it's going to sort of apply all of that retroactively to the share charts. But what's going to happen is from $4.85, we're going to start seeing a huge sell-off. I expect it to come down to potentially $2.50 to $2 over the first few weeks following the reverse stock split. I would not recommend anyone purchasing this stock right now. This is not the right time. They've got to have some incredible catalysts. It's actually sad for me to say this. This is a company that I used to be super excited about, and I hate the fact that I'm up here saying this, but I really feel like I have to warn you guys. Remember, not financial advice. Everything I say here, it's your own decision. Do your own research, but take a look at all these other companies that have done reverse stock splits. It has never been good news. And on the contrary, reverse stock splits. On the contrary, stock splits have done so much to build confidence. When you think of a stock like Tesla, like Apple, like Nvidia, these stock splits have actually, because what they did is the price was too high. They started dividing the stocks by 3, by 4, by 5, and the stock price just started keep going up. So while the stock splits are positive for a company, the reverse stock splits, I'm afraid, are probably one of the worst things that can happen to a company. And if I own a tiny bit of shares of BNGO, but they're really my moon bag. And honestly, I'm okay with it going to zero because I've made tons of profit on this company. It sucks. And if things change in the future, I'm definitely open to buying some BNGO stock. I would love to hear what your thoughts are. What do you think about this sort of whole news around the reverse stock split? Do you think that they're in trouble in the next few weeks for the stock price? Please let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, make sure you like the videos, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Check out our free public Discord, discord.thebrownjet.com. Also, consider being a member by hitting the join button. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.